Hiya, I'm Pixie, and I'm just going to be showing you how I do my line art. Well, not necessarily how I do my line art, but how I make my line art look a bit more interesting. So yeah, normal disclaimer, I'm not a professional artist, I just think I'm decently good at art, I guess. So here we are. So with my line art, I've already done, like, the base layer. I use vector layers on Clip Studio because they are the most convenient thing to ever exist. If you don't know what vector layers are, it's basically if you had two interlocking lines like this, you got the eraser, it would only erase the bit you've done there, so it just makes line art a lot easier. And obviously, a lot of stabilization. I don't have a stable hand, so I have high stabilization. I don't make my lines too thick. I tend to use brush size 40. This is like 2000 by 3000 roughly. And then I do little details like the straps here, slightly smaller, but apart from that, I just do a base line art like that. So to do my line art, I add another layer. You can see here on top of the normal line art layer. This is a non-vector layer if you're also using Clip Studio. It's quite important that it is a non-vector layer. So when you're thickening lines, which is what we're going to be doing, you want to do it in 3 places. So proximity, how close something is or far away, depending on your vibe really. How heavy something is, and then just general sort of, yeah, it would probably work here. So any little details I will do on this layer. So like I'm going to do her eyelashes on this layer. I'll do those later, to be fair. And it is a bit frustrating that you then actually have to like manually erase like some IBS paint user, like, whoa. But anything that might be in the way when you're just using a fill bucket to fill everything in, I tend to just do it on this layer and it makes it a lot easier. There you go, so already the eyelashes is making it look a bit more full and less boring. So corners is also a place I do thickening lines. Corners and chubby cheeks. So this is kind of this comes under proximity. Like, it's near the face, and I feel like you want people to be drawn to the face half the time. So it's literally just going on these lines and using, using this separate layer, because then you can really easily blend it into the layer below. And if you don't like it, it's a lot easier to then erase than if it was on the vector layer. So with proximity, I would do stuff like the hand. That is obviously very well drawn because I'm a professional artist. So just do bits on the hand, and it is mainly feeling and experimenting with it. So like I've probably done it a bit too much here, so I am just gonna erase that a bit. But yeah, it is just going through, and you got to experiment with it. So yeah, the hand's quite close, so I'm just gonna do it a bit here. But this just helps thicken your line art without too much pressure to it. You can also pen pressure it, like sensitivity, but I find that too stressful. So that's proximity, basically. There's probably some other points, but I'm gonna stick with those for now. So when it comes to weight, when it comes to weight, I would say things that are heavy on the bottom. So let's say her hair, it swoops down like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from here and do it like that. Because there's more weight at the bottom of her hair. I'm going to do that to the other side. I especially like doing this to hair. I think it makes hair pop a lot more, so highly recommend. Oh no, she's got a black nosebleed. So I don't know how I feel about that one, but I think if I do it here, it might even out. Yeah, no, that looks weird. So this is what I was saying, do it on a separate layer, because you're not always going to get it right. the more you do it, the better it will look. Wait, also, her jacket will be quite heavy. So bits like down here, like even bits you'd think don't matter. Especially in a more illustrative piece. And the thicker you do it, the more cartoony it will look. So how thick you want to do these lines is up to you. I had a more cartoony bit when I was working on my Utao. And she had a very cartoony, like very thick lines. So experiment how cartoony you want it, but if you want a more realistic style, you might want to have it so it's a lot less than this. Also, long lines I like to try and thicken up sometimes. You'll see it when I do it with the hair. More weighty bits. And I'm going to do it more with the bits that are weighty, because you want to give the illusion with lines that it's weighty, if that makes any sense at all. So I'll probably do it then less to this hand here. Once again, professionally drawn hand, don't question me. So yeah, that sort of does it for weight, I think. Probably a bit more on her hair as well. But then after you've done proximity and weight, proximity would look really good with like really extreme perspective as well. So if you can do that, go for it. And then the last thing is just kind of feeling. It's not necessarily proximity and weight, but it's like, where's feeling a bit empty? So for example, her arm here. I mean, I've kind of done it down here without realising it, but her arm could do with thickening up. So it's just where the feeling is, where does it feel empty? And that helps me kind of pinpoint where I should next put some of these lines. You don't want to do it too much, because then you'll just have line art that's probably too bulky. And I think that would pretty much be it for me. Don't think there's many more places I can add it. If there's any other little details, so for example, I want to add some stuff to the hair that I obviously make very detailed, I would do it on this layer. Anything that might make it difficult for when you colour. So then this is... Ooh, that's gone. This is the before and after. So you can see it's just made the entire drawing a lot more visually intriguing. Like, especially if you're not good at, like, hands like I am. You know, like, if something's lacking, I think the line art can really make a difference to it. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully it all made sense. This is my first tutorial. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'll try and get back to you in the best way I can. I'm planning to do a colouring tutorial as well, because I tend to draw in, like, bright, bold colours, and people quite like that. So, let me know if you'd be interested in that. And I make music as well, and I do commissions. So everything is in my link tree, in my bio. Subscribe, all that lovely stuff. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.